Right. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Wannabe Gardner. Right now, today, we're in planting corner again because I got compost, so I'm going to just plant everything. Everything I can find, including myself. I'm just going to plant absolutely everything. Now, this here, by the way, I didn't lacerate my finger. This is pepper juice. So as you can see here, I've got a squidgy capsicum, past its best. I love growing peppers, so I'm going to grow some again. I've never grown them actually in the pepper, so it's a new experiment. I've usually just grown the seeds, sprinkled them on and put soil over or compost over it very lightly, so this will be a new little experiment. I'm going to get my compost. I'm still absolutely delighted about having compost. Imagine being overjoyed having some compost, but there we go. Actually, what I forgot is I need to put some drainage holes in it. I didn't do that. So, obviously, if you can, where at all possible, recycle. You know, why throw out plastic things to be recycled when you can use them in the garden? Or actually you can use them to plant on your windowsill even. All you got to do is pierce a few holes. This is not the ideal implement to do it with. However, it'll work fine. Enough holes there. So you know what? I'm going to make a couple more. As I say, it'd be probably better to get... I have plenty of tools indoors that would do this much better, but hey ho, I'm not indoors, so. A nice little base, breaking up all the bits. This is the compost that got rave reviews, so. Again, it's not a product placement or I'm not promoting anybody. My channel has only begun. I certainly wouldn't be promoting anybody. There we go. Just putting them in. Putting some compost underneath. I'm going to mash them down a bit to expose all the seeds. And then I am going to just sprinkle some compost over it. Now, growing chilies has always been, should I say, one of my absolute favourite things to do. But I do remember that they take a long time to germinate. So I'm doing this as an experiment to see. I've seen this being done, and it's supposed to work wonders because the actual pepper itself is obviously supposed to give lots of nutrients. There we go, it's covered. I don't want to cover it too thickly, I'll just put a little bit more. Most of this around the edge, the pepper isn't even there, so I'm not going to water it in at the moment because again, I left everything indoors. A little water sprinkler is what you need rather than actually pouring water onto this out of a jug or something like that. Just a little bit of, just a little sprinkle. Oops, forgot a seed there. We'll put you in there. And that's that. So what I'll do is I'll get a little, like a sprayer, you know, like I don't know, disinfectant spray. Obviously you won't have disinfectant in it, it'll be cleaned out and fully cleaned out. Long time since I had disinfectant in it, and use it for squirting water on it. So it gives a nice even coverage, but it doesn't wash about the seeds because they're only tiny little seeds. So there we go. Fairly happy with that. It'd be better if I could riddle the soil. However, I can't do that, so that will have to do. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same this time, but with a green pepper. Will it work as well? I'm not so sure, because green peppers are essentially not fully ripened. You know, they go green first, then, well, capsicums to give them their correct name, bell peppers. So they're green first, then they're orange in colour, and then they turn red. You get some yellows, different varieties, etc. So I'm not going to show you this again, I've just done it. So I'll pause and I'll get back to you when I'm finished. Right, I'm back. So there's the other tray filled now. And we had a little bit of a deluge. There was a really strong shower there of rain. And yeah, I was cut out slightly, so I did it anyway, completed it, so that's done. Still need to give them water, I don't think they got nearly enough. They did get some though. Right, I'll put them aside. Now to show you my pitiful basil. Slightly less pitiful than the last time. Still incredibly pitiful. That there's no doubt. But I've got it into my head that it was there, it was part of a straggly little plant, and I kind of felt sorry for it. So I said what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try my best to make it grow again. And I did a decent job. I mean, if you would have seen it originally, I mean, I know that's pitiful, right? They are absolutely pitiful. But if you watch when I did them first, wow. Anyway, I noticed that they're starting to yellow and probably not looking the best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out. I'm actually going to put in compost and see if that'll help them out any. Because I kind of want to. It's my goal now to try and get these little teeny weeny little scraggly little things of basil and try to build them into my basil empire. Will I succeed? Probably not, but I'll give it a go anyway. I've got to get some pottery for the bottom. My very organised area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of the soil in them. It's got a strong little root system on it. Not too shabby at all. Two little bits in there. Some compost, and hopefully this compost here will give it the nutrients it needs to grow and hopefully flourish. It's got a long little root system on it actually. We'll put them in there. Now, hopefully it'll be happier in there. Either it will or it won't, you know. But I do want it. There's something, I've got it into my head that I must make these survive and grow better. So, we'll see. I'm going to cover the top with mulch so it doesn't lose water when I water it. And put it over in the sunshine. I'll do the big one and then just empty the soil. In fairness there, the soil doesn't seem that bad actually. It's pretty decent. Maybe I'm putting them in a worse conditions, I don't know. I hope not. It seems kind of alright. It doesn't really seem like my clay soil. I need to look back at the video and see did I actually put them in clay soil or had I got some compost. Maybe it was the claggy compost, I don't know. But I'm hoping anyway, this compost is supposed to be decent, so I'm hoping that they'll really take off in it. Bit of a beast, this one. Goes to show you that I don't have huge expectations if I'm calling this basil a beast. There we go. Again, I'll put mulch on the top and I will obviously water them in, but not at the moment. There we go. A bit more. And hopefully I'll be reporting back to you very soon and saying, wow, look at these basil, look at the basil now. Hopefully. Now I won't show you the last one because I've done 2 already. I'll get back to you after I finish. Well, there they are. All 3. Looking particularly, some of them look particularly pitiful. Oop, probably can't see me. But still, I'm kind of determined to make them grow. Now the thing is, I could get a basil plant out of the store, separate it into individual plants and then take cuttings and dip them in water and create a basil empire that way. It would be lovely if I could succeed with this, just a personal sort of achievement. But anyway, I'm going to put them over, give them some water, and rather than water them on the top, if plants already have roots, always water them from the bottom, from what I've learned. If I'm wrong, do let me know, but if it has a root system, let the roots suck up the moisture, because the mulch here on the top is protecting the moisture from evaporating on top. So, good stuff. I'll get them over. Right, next up for repotting is this BC. If you've seen an earlier video, this was in an old ceramic plant pot, and I thought in my infinite wisdom I'd move it out of that because the compost looked like it had been just devoid of any nutrients whatsoever. However, when I moved it into the clay soil, it didn't like that at all, and as you can see, it actually fared far worse. Now I thought I might be dead, and I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll move it anyway into some compost now that I have some good compost with good nutrients in it, and see if I can revive it. However, I have seen this, and this is some new growth. Now it looks like a disaster, but I'm hoping that with that new growth there, and with some lovely compost in it now, and I'm going to put some pottery shards in the bottom for good drainage, then hopefully it'll work. Try it again on cue. So what I'm going to do is empty the soil out, put the shards of pottery in and fill it up, and hopefully that will flourish. The rest will die off and then there'll be new growth. That's the plan. It's called lamb's ear, and I love it because I know I said I want to grow things that I can eat, and you can't eat lamb's ear, not that I know of anyway. Not a plant lamb's ear. If you wanted to eat a lamb's ear, I'm sure you could, but hey, it's a bit gross, but hey, there we go. So yeah, so I'm going to move it in now, and I just love it. I've always loved this since I was a child. Love the feel of it. It's such a lovely feel of it. So hopefully it'll be a success. I really want this one to live and flourish. It doesn't have an amazing root system on it. However, I'm going to get it in quickly, put some shards in. I do know one thing I know for sure that leaving plant roots exposed is never a good idea. So anyway, here's hoping that this one really takes off. I'd love to see it, you know. I actually would want it in pots. Can't remember the flower colour on it. If you know the flower colour, let me know. Is it got a pinky flower? I can't remember. I'm trying to remember since childhood, so I don't know. But it's for the foliage that I really like it. Does it even have a flower, or is it just my imagination? I don't know. As I say, primarily for the foliage. If it has a nice flower as well, lovely. So, there we go. Filling around the edges now. I just pushed it down a little bit just to get it in contact, really in contact with the good, hopefully healthy compost. Lots of food goodies in there for the plant. I'm going to keep an eye on this one with interest. It's in a sad and pitiful state at the minute. However, there are green shoots, you know, and that's hopefully a good sign. Now I might be taking another risk to remove it again, you know. It might not like being moved. Maybe that was the problem, but I certainly looked up and read about it, and the soil I had it in was definitely not the soil that it liked. It likes good drainage. This will allow some good drainage in it. So there we go. I'll settle that in a bit. Make a few minor adjustments, but it's done now. Yes, does it look good? No, it looks terrible. But as I say, green shoots. So fingers crossed. Let me get that over. I'll get some mulch on top as well, and obviously water it in. Right. Next for repotting. Now, you'd need to have X-ray vision practically to see what is in this pot. What it is actually is what I found out, what my neighbour actually gave me a clue to, is there's a poppy plant over there. It's one of the 74 different varieties of poppy. I think it's more an exotic poppy. Believe it or not, there's a teeny little green shoot of a poppy in there. I know, it's really scraping the barrel here. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to get it growing again, and if I do, then, you know, give one to my neighbour, because they really don't like getting moved. I've tried to move them and they just do not like it. So if I can get one growing in a pot, that'll work out. That will show you how pitiful it is. Will it grow? There's a little leaf there. Soon find out. Decent little root on it, you know. It's like it has a little like tap root on it. So I'm hoping. Now I know it is absolutely tiny. So chances are, the odds are, it won't take off. But you never know. You just never know. And I've always wanted it with plants. When I've seen plants dying as a kid, I always wanted to try and revive them. I should have been a doctor or something. Plant doctor. So there we go. You might, if you squint your eyes, you might just be able to see a tiny, tiny little shoot of green. You have to squint really hard though. It's in there. Will this rich, nutrient-filled compost help? I sure hope so. Again, give it a little water and put some mulch on the top, and that'll be that. And then I'm on to my last planting in Planting Corner today. I'll bring it over. On to my last planting of the day. I've got some peppers, some chili peppers. Oh, I loved growing these when I lived, well, where I used to live. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one open. I'm not sure about the variety of this one. It looks like very similar to a serrano. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in with the pepper. Just going to sit them on the soil like that. Oh, this is again a recycled tray. It had some lovely Danish pastries and pain au chocolat in it. Oh, yum, 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 yum. Anyway, never mind, I don't have any left, so it's quite annoying. But anyway, we're not talking about delicious cakes right now, we are talking about peppers and chilies. So I'm going to put them in there, and the hope is obviously that the chili itself, the chili flesh, will give extra nutrients and make them grow as per the last lot. This one I do know. I love chilies, I love eating chilies, all sorts. I don't have any sort of immunity towards their stinging fire, but I have got a tolerance for them. And no, I'm not going to eat them on camera. These ones are finger chilies, and these are red hot. These are like so hot. So I need to remember when I go inside now and have something to eat that that my hand is covered in these chilies. These are fiery ones. They're kind of very similar to cayenne in heat. Used a lot in Indian cookery, especially so for very hot curries. But these are, wow, I need to give my hands a proper good clean when I come out, or before I eat, should I say, because I'm rubbing the chilies in my hand. They are going to be actually I nearly coughed there because of the fumes of the chili. I'll go to show you how hot they are. Wowzers. So there we go. I'll know that one side is the Serrano type chili and the other is the finger chili. Again, just lightly crumbling the soil over them, covering them up. And if this method works and if they grow more quickly, this will be the method that I'll be using in future. But I don't know, as I say, I've never literally just grew them from seed and riddled some compost on top of them. And obviously beneath them. But there we go. So all the chilies and the peppers that I've planted today, or sown, they're all going indoors because we're not fully into summer yet. It is actually, I should say, it's May 2nd today. But that should be enough. Again, I'm going to water them in with the sprayer inside and sit them in the sunniest spot possible because they like heat, yeah, and a lot of heat and moisture, you know. So there's two things you will need. Don't let them go dry, not good for them, and you will need heat as well. So I will put a very, very light layer of mulch in because the top gets very, like, I don't know, like toast almost once it's in the sun. But that'll keep the moisture in, and then the intense rays of the sun through the windowsill, or through the window, should I say, while sitting on the windowsill, will help keep a kind of tropical environment for them, you know, like a greenhouse. So happy days. Touch wood for them because I love growing chilies. Anyway, that's enough. That's the end for today. So what I'll say to you is happy gardening from the Wannabe Gardner. There's going to be lots more tomorrow, lots more things that I've done because I've got lots more compost, so I'm very excited about tomorrow. But happy gardening for now, keep the fingers green, and I'll see you next time. Take care in the meantime. Bye bye.